I'm James Tsuma Wanje, and my dear wife is Chao Tsuma, and we're from the coastal region of Kenya.
When we met, both of us were believers in Jesus Christ, and we thought we knew. And so when we got married, and even for us, we did not really have time to go deep into preparing for marriage. We did do a program which was tailor-made for anybody who wanted to get married in the church that we attended. But once we got married, it didn't take long before we realized this is a completely different journey about which we need to be prepared. And so when we now, after we were married for about 3 years before we got very serious about building our marriage. And when we started and saw the fruit thereof, we agreed that anybody that we meet who has not been married yet and they're getting ready, we're going to make it our responsibility to help them prepare, because we did not want them to go through the journey that we went through and also were seeing others going through. When I was doing my postgraduate program, I did my thesis on marriages, preparing for marriage in the African context. And one of the areas we realized was, as I wrote and as we worked with couples, what I had written would be what we would borrow so that it can be more to the context of the couple. And we kept challenging each other, maybe it's time for us to actually have material that caters for this audience.
One of the challenges that we've been having, it's young couples coming to us from different tribes, and that has been a hurtful journey to many of our young people, because they're in love, but the parents, they feel like this person is from the tribe and you should not marry them. There's a couple who had that problem, and they had to stop.
Yes, they had to stop for a while. And what we encouraged them to do was to work with their parents, because there's also a tendency for young couples, when they are told something by their parents, they want to rebel and do their own thing. And so what we did was we encouraged them to involve even some of the older
pastors.
people, the pastors, and also some people in their different tribes who they respected. And it was a long journey, but we are thankful for their patience. And also as we prayed for them and with them, because at the end of it all, on the day of their wedding, both the parents came and they blessed their union. And that is the story that we are always believing God that we can see happen. Africans, anybody who knows us, they know that we love stories. And we also learn a lot through oral stories. And so it's written in a way that there are characters that you can interact with and you also can identify with. And we meet Jabali and Karembo right when they're thinking we need to get married. Jabali is so generous that sometimes he doesn't know where to draw the line. We meet Karembo, who sometimes she can be a little bit too focused on doing the right thing that she forgets to have fun. And in every chapter, they introduce you to a concept. And then after that, they are teaching principles based on this story. The book tackles issue of finances. In our context, finances are not just for the two of us. You know, we come from a community, and we were raised in communities. And we do have a responsibility toward that community. But how do we work together to make sure that we are not giving so much toward the community that we are forgetting what is key, which is our marriage, as it glorifies God? When you talk about intimacy, we go straight to the bedroom. The book encourages, begin even with your intimacy with God. God is the author of sex. And if God was not afraid to talk about sex, we should not be afraid to talk about it. And as you learn the teaching principles, there are also discussion questions that you go through so you can not only better understand what has been said, but also to apply it in your own relationship. And in the end then, there's a project or some questions that you work through individually, and then you come together as a couple.
Our hope is that our church in Africa will have a tool that they will use to build marriage ministry in their churches. And this will help, church will help to train couples that can be able to take more other couples to do life with one another.
It is written for couples getting ready for marriage. It is written for couples who say, we want to have a ministry as a couple to mentor other couples who are coming into marriage. So they can use it as a tool then to mentor those couples.
It is very important for the couples to start well, learn more about one another, so that they'll be able now to live together for many years. And when a marriage is strong, then you have a strong church, a strong community, and a strong nation.